A waiter's mask below the nose, a rowdy crowd around the bar. These are just some of the behaviors that brought COVID-19 complaints to local health departments in 2020. But how many of those complaints ultimately led to enforcement action?
IT reporter Dan Monk has been scouring the records. He learned the complaints far outnumber the citations.
Patty Lucan is a fan of the food at Silver Spring House in Sims Township.
Oh, I love it. Best chicken taco salad and chicken wings.
But she stopped going in September after spotting several employees without masks.
I just didn't like their lack of concern about COVID.
Lucan also complained to Hamilton County's health department. She doesn't think it had much of an impact.
It still is pretty packed. When you drive by here on weekends, there's a full parking lot.
Lucan is one of more than 4,000 people who filed complaints alleging restaurants, bars, and other gathering spots failed to follow state guidelines for pandemic prevention. Silver Spring House had 25 complaints, more than any other restaurant, in a list of complaints compiled by the I-Team using public records from agencies that enforced state rules.
I think we've done a great job enforcing the protocols.
Joe Kendall has co-owned this neighborhood watering hole since its 1988 inception. He says he's spending $20,000 a month on a heated tent to enable social distancing.
We have plexiglass up at the bars to separate people. And if there is a wait, we have people waiting outside. Now, does it look congested here with the parking? Probably to somebody, but no, the Board of Health has never come in and said we're doing anything wrong.
The I-Team has been digging into the pandemic enforcement activities of local health departments to gauge how effective they were at spotting and correcting allegations of bad behavior. In Hamilton County, we found less than 2% of all complaints led to a notice of violation, and 60% of those notices were followed by more complaints. Hamilton County was more aggressive than Ohio's Retail Compliance Unit. It issued warnings in less than 1% of cases so far.
Our bar is tremendously safe.
Records show Hamilton County referred the Naughty Pine Bar to state liquor enforcement in July after 5 complaints about a lack of masks and social distancing. State investigators issued no citations after 3 visits. Complaints continued.
Our employees are masked. We pass out masks at the front door. The room is set up every day for social distancing.
Hamilton County issued a notice of violation in November. Complaints continued into December. And through it all, co-owner Cole Weddle says all 20 Naughty Pine employees have remained virus-free.
No, I don't think that's an accident. I think that we've worked hard to make it that way.
Hamilton County wouldn't talk to us on camera. Its statement says the agency pursues education before enforcement, but it still cracks down on violations as aggressively as possible.
The Board of Health investigates any complaint that is filed.
Silver Spring House General Manager Derek Talby says health inspectors investigated a November 30th complaint that sick employees were coming to work while waiting for COVID test results.
They came in and asked us a series of questions and determined it was false and moved on.
Talby says 12 of the restaurant's 134 employees have tested COVID-19 positive, including its co-owner.
I do not believe I got it at the Silver Spring House, no.
A customer complained to Hamilton County in December that she and her husband started to experience COVID symptoms 3 days after dining at Silver Spring House. The complaint says the husband was in the hospital for 8 days. That complaint led to an inspection with no violations. Hamilton County says inspectors can only cite what they see and have no way of knowing if the restaurant caused the infection.
I think that we've done everything to keep everybody safe. We've regulated everything that we possibly can do.
The other restaurants and businesses are doing it. They should try a little harder.
Dan Monk, WCPO 9, I-Team.
The I-Team compiled a list of more than 4,000 complaints against nearly 3,000 companies. You can see all of them at WCPO.com.